18. Okay. We are here Monday, March 10th, 2025 at 6 p.m. for the Board of Selectmen regular meeting here at the Town Hall, 108 Main Street in Falls Village, in person and via Zoom. Calling the meeting to order. For the agenda this evening, I have 3 additions. Well, actually, I have a few more than 3. Okay. 7K would be House Bill 7067. And it has to do with motor vehicle tax. And we are going to have to look at setting a date for town meeting. 7L would be a fire commission request, which we have received. Received it actually the day after that I had made up the agenda. 7M is regarding the Falls Village Grants Committee. Grant group. Thank you. Would we like to make that term committee? Okay. And then we'll go to under new business. We'll make 9E House Bill 7067. That's where we will set a date for the town meeting.
You say 7067?
7067.
Okay.
Correct. And the fire commission requests. And yes, that would be 9F, I'm sorry. And 9G, the Falls Village Grants Committee, where we'll discuss it in possible action. Were you next door there a few minutes ago?
Yeah.
I thought I saw with the ambulance. Okay. Do we have any other additions to the agenda?
No, nothing.
So you need a motion to.
I will take all 3 of those. Well, actually all 6. I'm sorry, but they all are correlated between the additions to the Selectmen's report, the agenda, and what we're under old, or excuse me, under Selectmen's report and under new business. I'm sorry. I'll take a motion to add those to the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No. Public comment?
Greg Marlowe. I'd like going back to the grant group, doing the steep application, we did a submission for up over at the senior center. And in so doing, Teresa had on her list a few items that couldn't be covered, unfortunately, in the steep, but we believe that they can be covered under the T-Mobile grant. And I would ask for the Board of Selectmen to put on the agenda, maybe discussion of that, or permission to do so. I did talk to Teresa; she's 100% behind the idea, and so
Perhaps what we could do is bring that up when we are actually discussing the making Fallsville grant group the actual committee.
whatever, however,
Right.
that's what
We can add it on to there.
the timing is of the essence. So it covers such things as chairs, the tables she thinks are okay. If the timing works out, the oven may need to be replaced before, but that's a possibility. And there's a shortfall in the funding for the flooring. She has a $7,200 grant.
And I think it's about $2,000 shortfall.
2.254 somewhere in there shortfall. So we would hope that it could cover that as well.
And the only good thing that we have, we'll discuss this later on, is getting a grant and grant because that $7,000 is a grant.
Right, and this would be a grant as well, and we would make it very clear to them.
And it would be that particular one.
We should make it very clear.
We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Thank you.
And not the glue, but we would make a syrup oil, so.
Okay.
Yeah, don't burn that thing.
Take care. Understood. Anyone else? Do we have anyone on?
Yeah, question. Are we doing anything with job descriptions? I just noticed it fell off the.
No, it actually didn't fall off. What we're actually doing with job descriptions, actually, as you know, we're putting together a comprehensive plan, or what I should say, regarding everyone here, employees in the town hall, and that will be part of it. What we're actually looking at is some sort of, and I've been working on it with a couple other selectmen in other towns within the COG, in a measure by which to look at employees' performance in different areas. So we've all kind of been collaborating, looking at something like that. I mean, I've done them before with the state police. I've done them before with Quinnipiac University. I think we need one here. But the question is, what are we going to exactly do in putting together something like that? So that would be the last piece of putting this manual, if you will, together for employees' job descriptions and everything else.
So that's part of the manual.
It would be part of the manual. Okay. As you know, there's a couple towns here that are both union, non-union. There's quite a few moving parts, as you well know.
We have a target, but,
I would tell you there would be a target date, Chris. Okay, but what I would be quite upfront with you is I would like this piece of it, and it might take us a little bit more time to get it together. There's been a couple selectmen who've been working on it and looking at it, and I've been looking at it. It's been kind of a mess the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So handling what comes up first. Okay. But thank you. And that was Dennis Cohen asking that question, by the way.
Infamous Dave, I don't know the introduction.
Okay, approval of pending minutes. We have February 10th, the regular meeting minutes, and March 5th, the special meeting minutes. Okay, that I would look to approve, and I did February 18th, which was a town meeting, and I'm not looking for approval in that. I should have put it in our actual selectmen's report, just to report that everything happened passed, but I thought I would throw it over. We won't be approving that, so I would take a motion to approve the February 10th meeting minutes.
so
Second.
All in favor? I would take a motion to accept the March 5th. And I will second that. You would want to abstain because you weren't here. All in favor? All right. Treasurer's report from January 2025. I'll take a motion to receive the treasurer's report.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? I will also take a motion to accept the tax collector's report, February 2025. All in favor? Aye. Okay, thank you. Communications. I just have to put this one in because I actually received it again after we put together the agenda. I received it from a William Brown, and without going into it, he is concerned about fluoride in drinking water. I believe that this is a form letter that he has sent to a number of municipalities. We did receive it, so asked our recording secretary. I don't even believe that the return address was New York.
I don't believe Salt Village meets the criteria.
No, but I did receive it, so I feel obligated to.
Is this my copy, Dave?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Going to the selectmen's report. The steep grant was applied for, and thank you to the Falls Village grant group. Do I have that correct? Grant group.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. We should be hearing on or about April 3rd, according to the email I received, which doesn't mean we'll hear April 3rd. It means on or about or after. So we'll wait to see what happens there. I will ask the other selectmen, as we've had in the past, a tour of the Litchfield Hills. I received a letter regarding that, and on Sunday, August 3rd, Hartford Healthcare Charity for Hospital and Cancer Center Fund of the Litchfield Hills Incorporated will sponsor the 22nd annual tour of the Litchfield Hills, a charity bicycle ride and walk preventive cancer care fund of Litchfield Hills Inc. It's going to start down at Cove Park in Torrington, and it will be traveling through Litchfield, Goshen, Norfolk, Canaan, North Canaan, Salisbury, Sharon, Washington, Warren, Morrison, Cornwall. It will use Route 7 under Mountain Road and Route 63 in our town. I, being the local traffic authority, have to sign off. I would look to take a motion to allow me to sign off as a local traffic authority, allowing the tour of Litchfield to pass through those roads.
You want that now? Or are we?
I think we can wait later.
Is that minus stuff?
I mean,
Gee, is that?
Can we act on
Okay, Linda?
No, I did not. I did not put that on the action, but
let's go, can we wait till any other business?
we can wait till any other business. Tree planting at Lee H. College School, April 25th, Friday. They'll be planting correction, I believe an American elm. They'll be planning to replace the one that was cut. And wetlands is going to be involved in that. 107 Main Street property lease update. I didn't get a chance to talk to you, Chris, but Judy did walk in today while I received an email from the Ives attorney. So we will be looking at a couple things in that between the two attorneys now, our town attorney and their attorney, to go over a couple things. And I will be giving some input tomorrow regarding that. So
Is, this is in response to Chip's, our lead?
yes,
This is-
back and forth.
Yeah.
So there's nothing I can. Yeah, then it was just a couple things that we want to iron. And once we get that ironed out, we will set the date for the town meeting. I had hoped that it would have been settled last Friday, but I don't think it was received by the Ives until late Friday. I just received it. Actually, put that yesterday. There was no phone even received it. So, Recreation Committee Commission is still looking for members. Just putting that out there. Anyone interested? I have someone from the Rec Commission here. You're still looking for members, actively seeking members, and
Yes.
Emily had asked me if I would mention that at every meeting.
Yes.
So you get enough members.
We're, forwarding some information regarding two possible members. One and stay. So they were, at least one person was invited to our February meeting, but it changed. So now they may be coming, or the person might be coming to our meeting on Wednesday. And we've also received some communication saying that this person might be interested, that person might be interested, and as far as I know, we were waiting as the last meeting, we contact information so that we could contact and invite them to the meetings. I don't know if that's happened or not yet.
Yes. That would be Catherine Wales.
Currently have members and to have 6 active and so we're looking
To need to be an active member.
To the meetings to start off with.
Once a month.
It's a month on Wednesdays, same as. And participate in events that for the town, for example, the Christmas tree lighting, Easter egg hunt, Halloween party. And I'm not sure if there's the other holiday that I might be missing, but we also do
There's a lot of collaboration, between the rec commission, library.
Details and just find out more around.
It's a lot of fun.
It is.
It's
Great.
it is a good,
And
permission.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we can look at each of them, they've been there.
I think we do it together.
It's actually 7 members.
Yeah.
You can have 7 in an alternate.
Right.
There you go, that's permission.
Do you know if Matt Gallagher was one that officially?
Information to contact him.
Okay.
The other one I gave to Emily and he was reaching out for.
You have Matt's contact us and me.
I can send that to our she's
And
each member or person.
Okay, moving on to F, Vision Zero, the automatic traffic safety enforcement device. We'll be taking that down on Friday and returning it to the company. We have collected quite a bit of data. I looked at it late this afternoon. I have to be totally honest for BB Hill Road, looking where we put it. There's a great deal of traffic, but there's not that many people exceeding the speed limit. I will produce those for our next meeting. We'll just look at other places perhaps in the future.
Yeah, where's it going?
There's a lot of that. Okay, moving on, the Falls Village Historic District Committee. Judy, going to ask you to talk about.
Group of us from the Historical Society and more interested townspeople been meeting to study whether we want to, if we're already a national historic district, whether we want to have a village historic district. And if you're a village historic district, those people within the village say they would like to see within downtown area. So we're actively pursuing that and would like to form a committee and meet with the residents and come up with ideas, what they would like to see, what they don't want to see. Nobody's going to be telling you what color to paint your house or if you're putting up flower boxes or anything like that. It's mostly just to preserve what we've done.
I would just add that you've been working very closely with our CEO.
Janelle has been fantastic. She's done a lot of research. We've met with other historic commissions in the region, gotten a lot of feedback from them. And the interesting thing is that only the people within the current historic district can vote on it. It's not a town-wide decision. It's the people within the village. They want to do this or not. We'd like to just take the next step and see if you do.
Thank you. H, planning and zoning, the outdoor illumination and dark sky principles. I've contacted Carpenter Electric in North Canaan, asked them to take a look at our 3 places. They've already looked at 107 Main, but they still need to look at the daycare center in the evening in the H. Kellogg School. And Mr. Carpenter had offered to meet with members of planning and zoning to discuss what they thought was appropriate lighting for the dark skies principle or initiative, I'm sorry, but also principle. So once he gets a look at those that night, then we'll move forward. Richfield County Dispatch. I received a budget. It's based on per capita. Just wanted to point out that we are a 2-service town, and it is up 3.5% compared to last year. Again, lots of doing business. Again, we got hit 2 ways: greater population and actually went up. Per capita is $12.80. Our contract fee for 25-26 will be $15,849, and I've already cashed that on to the treasurer. What coming in? Board of Selectmen workshop on the proposed spending plan. I think I spoke to each of you individually. I'm looking at Monday the 17th at 8:30 a.m. I will put the notice out tomorrow. We have all the budgets together. We just, believe it or not, received Pete Roos's budget at the transfer station. He was waiting for the number from USA Bank, and they kind of held him off. He finally has that number, so we'll do that. 7K, House Bill 7067. I'm going to turn to our resident expert, Kayla Johnson, if we can get her on there.
He's
Okay.
muted, don't get that over.
And ask her to speak a little bit on it, if you would, Kayla.
I would love to. The change that affects us tonight relates to motor vehicle depreciation schedules. Legislation last year changed the way we value motor vehicles to MSRP versus clean retail. And they set the original depreciation schedule to go off of 85%. So a newer vehicle will immediately depreciate to 85%, 5% from then on until it hits either 15% or $500 assessment. It lost a lot of value off many towns' grand lists throughout the state. So we went back to the legislature and asked for a change. And part of the bill that was passed last week put a new depreciation schedule into act, which puts it at 90% versus 85. If we enact that, it puts our grand list up approximately $1,189,000, which is about $26,000 back for tax dollars.
So, in reading into the House bill, Kayla, it tells us to adopt the modified schedule, the municipality's legislative body or board of selectmen, where the body is a town meeting, must vote in favor of it. The municipality does provide us a notice to OPM within 14 days.
Yep.
So, if I read this correctly, we need to go to a town meeting, which we can announce.
Nope.
No?
Nope. They sent a different email this week. I thought I had sent it to you. It's where the town's body is a board of selectmen. It's just board of selectmen vote now. So you basically just have to vote to approve the change if you so wish.
Okay. All right. Well, we have that coming up in new business. So if you would stay on a little bit, I
Sure.
would appreciate it till the end of the meeting. Thank
No problem.
you. All right. Fire Commission request. I have a request from the chair, Dave Sini. And the Board of Fire Commission is requesting an additional $10,000 to be allocated from the current budget to cover the expense of upcoming mandated Falls Village Fire Department annual physicals, which are required by OSHA. If I am correct, as previously mentioned in a discussion with the first selectman, Dave Barger, and the Board of Finance member, Ginger Betty. I'd just like to discuss this under new business and just get a little bit more insight into it. Thank you. And last on the selectmen's report, I would like to make the Falls Village Grant Group an official grant committee charged by the Board of Selectmen. They have been coming back to us. We worked hand in hand with them. Actually, they had more hands in it than we did. We do have a representative to that group right now, being you, Chris.
Well, sort of, I guess, you know.
Kind of, sort of. And what I'd like to do is make it an official committee, which certainly, much like the Historic Committee, or we're going to talk about the Affordable Housing Task Force Committee, I would like to actually make it a committee and bring it under the umbrella of the town, so that they can, well, they can certainly use the space here, but they can use the space and it can be completely transparent on where we're going with all of these grants. Okay, and we'll be discussing that further on down the line. Okay, going to move on to old business, 35 Railroad Street. We are still waiting for the septic to be looked into, no pun intended. That hopefully will happen in the next couple of weeks. Economic development, I don't think we have anything right now. And the Affordable Housing Task Force will be discussing later and putting it together. We have at least 4 people who are interested and a couple other people who are still out there who have shown some interest. New business. We have no tax rebates and nothing on the suspension list. I'm going to move to table the 107 Main Street Town hearing only because we're waiting for that final wrinkles to be ironed out with 107. The Falls Village Historic District Committee, say that 3 times fast.
So the members, the people who would like to be on there besides myself would be Cheryl Asherman. And you're supposed to have members that are within the district. So we have Bill Beebe and who are the others?
Hold on just a moment.
I gave you the list.
Yes, you did.
Thank you. So we have on the list. Okay, so we have Cheryl Ashman, Tracy Wilson, Bill Beebe, who's within the district, Caitlin Jenkins, who's in the district, and alternates Scott Jack, who's in construction, so he would be helpful, and Richard Berzine also is in the district. So those are the folks that have expressed that, and having so many historical society members involved there, I think would be really helpful because we have lots of information on the houses within the district.
So what is our motion here?
I would like to make a motion to form a Falls Village Historic District Committee. Village District Committee.
With the members that
with those members that I stated.
I'll second that for discussion. Okay,
As advisory to the Board of Selectmen?
What's that?
As advisory to the Board of
thank you.
Selectmen?
You stole the words out of my mouth. Okay, and you will be working with Janelle Mullen,
to a certain extent, because Janelle is planning and zoning, so she's valuable input, but she would not be an active member of it.
Okay,
More of an advisor.
And I hear you saying that you are going to be Board of Selectmen liaison to this group.
Yeah.
One other question, Janelle has a price tag.
Mm-hmm.
How is that?
It's has been coming out of the planning and zoning budget
Okay.
right now because it has been planning. And they agreed to that.
Okay.
I would like to see a line item for this because in order to have a hearing with the residents, we need to send out legal notices. So we're gonna need some funding and.
That'll be probably minimal.
Yes, but probably, I don't know, we'd have to talk to planning and zoning about, Janelle as an advisor.
Okay.
I don't see though why we couldn't form the committee now.
No, I don't see
As
that.
advisory.
Not a commission
Right.
at this point, it's just a committee.
Yeah.
And it would only become a commission if the village residents wanted it,
Right.
Yeah.
Baby steps.
yeah. We don't
Okay.
wanna ram anything down anyone's throat.
I'd be in favor of it.
Okay, so. You have, there needs the motion?
I do, so you're forming it, and then you need a motion to add these people.
Right. And to the,
I made motion, so, and you seconded it?
I second it. Okay, with the addition of those names.
Do you want to set a number of, members and alternates in
I
your
think what we
motion?
should do is we have one, well, you are an ex officio member as, so you don't count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think you should have 6 with
There's 2 alternates.
you have 2 alternates, but I would think I would have the committee actually be 6
Okay,
and have another alternate.
6 and 3 alternates, you said?
6 and 3 alternates would work.
Good. Tracy, Caitlin, Cheryl,
Yeah.
Bill,
Bill
Scott.
and Richard Dean
Richard.
and Cheryl.
Okay.
yeah,
Get Cheryl.
he said so.
Right.
All in favor?
I,
Opposed? Okay. Motion carried. Let's move on to the Affordable Housing Planning Task Force.
Are you appointing those people?
Yes, we are appointing those people. I thought that went unsaid, but we are appointing those people.
You need a motion.
Okay. Motion to appoint Cheryl Eichelman, Tracy Wilson, Bill Beebe, Caitlin Jenkins, Scott Jack, Richard Berzine, plus 3 alternates with Selectman Judy Jacobs acting as the ex officio member representative to the Board of Selectmen.
Scott and Richard are the alternates, right?
Right now, yes.
They are, but Scott's been involved right from the beginning, so we can always put him in as a full member.
Okay, so I'll just make sure I got it right, sorry. Cheryl Ashleman, Bill Beebe, Tracy Wilson, and Caitlin Jenkins are members.
Mhm,
Scott Jack and Richard Brzine are alternates. Judy is ex officio.
yes,
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, capturing that.
and if anybody would like to join us on that committee. Oh,
you made that motion?
I made that motion.
Second.
Thank you.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, thank you. Affordable Housing and Planning Task Force. This is a committee that we've had before the task force. I actually have 4 names of individuals and getting those more names. Hopefully I have some phone calls, or I should say more correctly, emails out. But what I'd like to do is form the task force now. Like I say, actually, we're not forming it. We've had it in the past. We are actually bringing it back.
Hadn't we dissolved it?
It had been dissolved.
Yeah.
Yes. So we have to bring it back.
Yeah.
It was dissolved pre-COVID, during COVID.
No.
Don't remember
After
it.
COVID.
Okay. So we are bringing it back. We are bringing being dissolved. So I will first make a motion that we reestablish the Affordable Housing Plan Task Force.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right at this point, I have 4 individuals who are interested, who we would make regular members at this time
As advisory of the Board of Selectmen?
as advisory to the
Thank
Board of
you.
Selectmen. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Judy, did you second that?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
And I would ask that we look at these individuals for joining it at this time, being appointed to it. And they would be Kathy Clark, Mary Priestman, Lara Hafner, and Carmela Barger.
You're looking for someone to move that?
Well, I'm looking for that, but I'm going to put this out also. I would like, because I think this is very important, I would like to be the ex officio member of the task force.
Mhm.
Okay, that's a, well, so moved.
I thought you were saying board.
No, that's all I had to say. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Kayla, if I could grab you once again, if you're still there.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. And the latest thing, again, I received this from OPM last week and printed it off. So our latest is that the Board of Selectmen can directly vote on this, correct?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. I've actually looked over this. Have you had the opportunity to look over it also, Chris?
Not really. Denise
Spoken
will let
already.
me-
Okay, what it is a modified depreciation schedule. I think as our resident expert, our assessor, and thank you, Kayla, for being here tonight, pointed out that the schedule, the valuation would change. As you can see, vehicle age, current schedule, modified schedule, we look at on a car of up to 1 year as a 90% of the MSRP, manufacturer's suggested retail price.
And it's currently 85 for that.
Correct,
Okay.
correct. But what we've seen is a change in revenue. It would once again over $1 million reduce our grand list. And if we went to the 85%, and it would reduce our tax revenue by around 2,600, Kayla.
Yes. Yep. So overall, the motor vehicle portion of our grand list decreased by 14.67% this year. This would offset that decrease a little bit if we change the depreciation schedule.
I will make a motion that we adopt the modified schedule.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So move. Thank you, Kayla.
Thank you. Much appreciated. People will still see a reduction in their tax bills because of the MSRP change. So no need for anybody to worry.
Okay, and I will get that letter out to Martin Heft at OPM tomorrow morning.
We'll work on it. I have to do the change first because it requires the portion that the numbers will have to be specific. So we can start it tomorrow, and then as soon as QDS comes in and makes the change, we'll send it off.
We never like OPM to be waiting for us.
True, but I don't want to give them incorrect numbers either.
Thank you again for your time, Kayla.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
You too. Okay. So we don't need to send So don't need to have a town meeting for that. That's fire commission request. Um. I'm going to ask two members of the fire commission who are here tonight just to explain it to us, if you would.
Okay, so we're looking for $10,000. Because of the change of our company that's doing the physicals, it's more expensive. And currently we have budget, I have to look around 2,000 and some dollars.
That's not fun.
Hmm?
That's not fun.
4,500, yes. And the anticipated cost is close to $22,000.
Okay.
I got plenty of information on that. It was gonna be $424 per person. And we think that the extra $10,000 will cover the expenditure.
Help offset that expense.
How many total, Dave? How many total?
How many total physicals?
Yeah,
I'm not really.
30 from our fire department, which 3 more just added.
Right.
And then 40, they're joining us is Cornwall. Goshen is talking about it, but they didn't confirm, and that's part of holding on to it a little bit, and North Canaan did not, so.
Okay.
So we're just gonna,
But we're only paying for our physical.
Pardon?
We're only paying for, I just want to make that clear.
Yeah, right, sometimes both of us on it, but it is Cornwall's already agreed, and then we will pick up the tab, but depending, they wanna set the date now, and it would be Saturday and Sunday, which the other doctors were closed at 4:30. This caused a lot of problems of people getting out of work to go for physicals, not being paid, not being available, so this is, the trailer comes in Saturday, Sunday, full-time nurses, and it's all taken care of, blood work, the whole 9 yards. Actually, it's much more efficient than what the best was going on. And we also do the CDLs for the highway department.
Right. Which we have to do anyhow.
Yeah.
Right.
So that would cover the whole thing. And we mentioned this last year, if you remember, the budget had already been set, and then this year, the
Right.
same thing, that it has been set, and now we'll be on the up and up that we have it all complete
Okay.
for the budget next year. So it is, everybody's happy with it. It was all good.
So we're looking for the money now
Now for this budget.
for this budget right now. Okay, so this is not the upcoming budget that we're working. Okay, I just want to make that,
It has
that's
been
clear.
included in that, and your new budget is all in there,
okay,
okay?
all right. Just wanted to make that clear at the table here.
Yes.
All right,
Yeah,
thank you.
It is a 10th grant.
Yes.
Your contract is the same, that's.
It was a lot of problems with the old provider doing this. Correct.
It was doctors, and they closed their office
Yeah.
at 4 o'clock if they show up.
Right.
Then we had to coordinate the men and women
Yeah.
showing up, and this is all EMTs, firefighters.
Even the
Department,
Even the fire police, yes,
fire police, right, they're required now too,
yes.
so it works out very well for us. And Cornwall liked it too, so.
do we have to make a recommendation to the Board of
Well,
Finance?
what I'm gonna
approve
take,
that?
would ask for this evening is a motion to recommend it to the Board of Finance. That, we, fund that $10,000. Now, I have to be honest with you, I need to speak with the, treasurer, but I think if I remember correctly, and I'm trying to recall the numbers, we may not have to go to town meeting for this. Because I think they're still under their $20,000, if I'm not mistaken. We had $6,000 that came back to the Selectmen's legal, 1,000 for the Northwest Transit, 1,000 for the rec commission. So I'm going to make the recommendation, but again, I need to check with the treasurer. I don't think there's anything else outstanding, but they could do it without, they could fund this without going to town meeting.
So do we make a motion to send this to the Board of Finance with that stipulation? Or just,
Well, we'll make the recommendation, I would think, to
and then
the
they.
Board of Finance, and they would decide where they are, but we do have to check with the treasurer. Who I understand is watching UConn play right now, the UConn women. So, so I will make the motion to recommend this to the Board of Finance this evening, to either for the $10,000, and I'll let them decide on where they want it to come from.
Second,
Okay, but the recommendation is there. I think this is something we certainly have to do, and
Well, we're required to.
we are required, if we go back to our statutes regarding supporting a volunteer fire company, it's certainly what we should be doing.
so you made the motion?
You
I
made
made
the
the
motion, I
motion.
seconded it.
Okay,
You second it?
more discussion then, is this, I know Lou brought up the notion that, we can't propose an up to
Right,
amount,
Mhm.
so
we're asking just for the
1,000,
do we know that that will cover it?
Yes,
yes,
Okay.
if not, the fire company would put in.
okay.
Okay, what if it comes in under the 10,000, then?
I want that money back.
Yes, that's fine, yes,
Okay.
Yep.
All in favor?
all right.
Opposed? All right, last but not least, this evening is discussion of the Falls Village Grants Group and making it a grants committee. And I think, Chris, I'm gonna ask you to speak on their behalf a little bit.
Well, I was only kind of forced into it because that was the topic at the dinner table. A week and a half there, 2 weeks, but no, I think it's a good idea. I'm not sure, I can't speak for the rest of the grant group. And so I think it would be prudent to appropriate the grant group and then let to committee. And then let's check with the current group members or people that are affiliated with it and see that if their interest is to be a part of the committee,
Okay.
formal committee. But I think especially if we are successful in this grant that we just applied, the steep grant that we just applied for, definitely gonna need some hands to help administer it.
Well, I will say that there was a lot of work that went into that
Yeah,
grant,
yeah,
and
absolutely.
I will compliment all the members of the group. I will go on record in saying that putting it together in such a short time was a monumental task. And
How many members would we have to have?
how many members? I'm gonna look at you for a moment there, Eileen. How many members listed? 1, 2, 3.
Five,
several members,
yeah,
there's several members of the grant group.
So, but how many are we supposed to have?
We've never had a grant group before or a grant committee. So I would think that we would handle it like other committees and look at one of the selectmen as being an ex officio member. And I'm only looking at you, Chris, because you were intricately involved in it. And that's a compliment.
I only did what I was told.
from a lot of women.
But I think And again, if we want to table this until the next, but I do want to put it out there because I think, at least in my estimation, and perhaps this is going to come across the wrong way. So, please, take it from where it's coming from the bottom of my heart. They really proved themselves in a short time in putting things together as well as they did. And I will say the technology that was utilized to put things together, insofar as photographs and measurements and just putting it all together. I was on the outside seeing it, just as many of Judy was also just reading it over and so on and so forth. I think a lot of work went into it, and we saw how many hands made the task that much more palatable and easy. So I would like to bring them in under the umbrella of being a town committee, because I think they're a very whether or not we get this steep grant, okay, and I have all hopes that we get it. Just the mere work that went into it, okay. Certainly, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Sort of
Catherine.
amazing,
You're
yeah.
over my right shoulder.
Well, I would just have a question
Mhm.
about defining what it is. So it's a general sort of grant committee, and then is it like, what does that workload look like? How many grants are going to be sort of worked upon? And then also, does it also include, if there's something that is approved and successful, do those same people continue?
Yeah. Well, I would look for the committee pretty much to be like, well, I'm not going to use direct commission, but I would look at it as being like a number of other committees that we have for those individuals to work, in working on grants and so forth. And perhaps they may not work on every grant, but what they had been successful at is bringing grants forward. Some of these grants, they cross my desk. Some of them don't. I'm thinking about what you're talking about, T-Mobile. I didn't get that across my desk. It didn't come. That's from other places. So I mean, looking at those grants, state grants, federal grants, where we can use their knowledge and expertise to put those grants together with the Board of Selectmen, and having a member of the Board of Selectmen acting as the liaison and an ex officio member.
And bring it to the
Bring it to the
board,
Board of Selectmen.
and then we can say.
And again,
one would be.
things that it does, it brings it in, gives it some transparency. Not that I'm saying that there isn't any transparency here. Please don't misinterpret what I'm saying. But then we let everyone in town know what we're working on. I mean, everyone knows that we worked on the steep grant, and there's been a lot of positive comments about it. These other grants, again, whether it's an AARP grant or a T-Mobile grant or a Burger King grant, whatever, we could all be working on it.
May I ask something? As part of the grant group?
That would be the needs call.
Warrior. Um. As part of the grant group, I think it would be better if maybe we were to meet with the grant group. There's a lot of us, and there's only a couple of us here.
Right, and I'm not asking for this
Decide
tonight.
If knowing what the parameters are and what you're expecting, if that's something that every member would want to be a part of.
Mhm.
And keeping in mind that it's not just town grants. Like,
Exactly.
I just gave one to the Center on Main, asking them to let us know by Friday if they're going to apply. If they're not, we're going to pass it on to another organization. And sometimes we pass on grants that no one in Falls Village has decided to apply to other towns,
Mhm.
other organizations outside of town. So it's more than just Falls Village. I mean, just municipal, I guess is what I would say.
Right. I will let the group, and Chris, again, I'm going to turn to you for a moment, because you had worked with the group already, and discuss it with them and see where we want to go. But I really, really had valued their input.
We appreciate that.
And
We do.
I want to convey that. grants that we work on, whether it's for the rec commission or for DPW or for the fire commission or whatever. They all help us in one way or the other. And we, as we well know, not every grant is successful, but you know. How do you bat 1,000? You just keep batting at the ball. You just keep batting. So that's where I want to go. So we can I'll take a motion to table this for discussion among the I'll make the motion to table any action on the Falls Village Grants Group and becoming the Falls Village Grants Committee. And I'm going to ask our selectman, Chris Kinsella, to consult with them and then get back to the other two selectmen regarding the direction we should take.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Okay, that. Solar committee.
Nothing's happened there.
Bridge and
I do need to schedule a meeting for that as there's a member over here, so telling me that I have to do it, but
and
the bridge, same thing with the bridge and infrastructure. We have a couple of proposals from Cardinal Engineering on the 6 bridges that we need to discuss, and we also need to discuss moving forward on Cobble Road Culvert project.
all right.
The other thing that is not really bridge and infrastructure, but we worked with at a meeting with Aquarian Water, Dave, Tim, Hazel was there, a few others. As a result of that, they installed 2 new hydrants, one at the corner of Brewster and Railroad, another one at the corner of Minor and BB Hill. They installed a Y strainer at well 6. And they said they would monitor that to hopefully keep the sand and sediment out of the backflow preventer. They also the fire service charge credit to the town from 2021 to 2025, and no future charges until they upgrade the system. And then they updated the count to 12 hydrants that we have in our town. So it's pretty, it was a good meeting. Yeah, we got a lot out of it.
I'm sorry, I was on a Zoom when it was all occurring, but
So
it was a good meeting.
worth our
I think
time.
they did a lot.
Good, can you go back to the grants you put, the T-Mobile grant for Greg was gonna be discussed?
Yeah, and he left.
Yes.
If I may encroach on your time, Chris,
Sure.
okay? Well, let's get this, you're all set.
Yeah,
with
I'll set with,
infrastructure?
yep.
We just need to set a date for the infrastructure so we can talk about Cardinal.
Yep.
So going back, Greg Marlowe had made the suggestion, shouldn't say suggestion, had asked to work on the T-Mobile grant. And I will take a motion to allow the grant group, the Falls Village Grant Group, in a certain configuration right now, hoping that it will become a committee to work on the T-Mobile grants. That would be my motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
No, thank you. He wasn't here to voice his opinion as I thought he was going to be, so. In the positive. Okay, number 11, any other business to properly come before the Board of Selectmen? And what I failed to do is put on the okay for the tour of the Litchfield Hills. And once again, I'll revisit this. Well, let me ask first, may I take a motion? May I have a motion to put the tour of the Litchfield Hills as other business?
Second.
All in favor? Okay. Again, Sunday, August 3rd, they'll be using Route 7 under Mountain Road, Route 63. I am going to, as we have in the past, I've offered them the green if they want to use it as an area to stop and rest and so forth, but they really don't cut through here. So They'll be going up the roadway, but whatever. We will always make it available to them, but, I will take a motion to allow me as the local traffic authority to sign off and allow them to use those 3 routes.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Any other public comments? Going once, going twice, going 3 times, I'll take a motion.
Oh, good one. Wait till they. Okay. There you go, sorry.
All right, so we had some technical difficulties. We're restarting under a new link. We have a quorum with Carl and Roxanne seated for Carol and John. And we are discussing the addition to the agenda. We got through a motion for adding the $10,000 appropriation for the fire commission.
I have that Tom made the motion, but how did it?
Yeah,
Where
he
did it go?
moved and I seconded.
Thank you.
Yep.
There we go. And, are there any discussion? All those in favor of adding the, appropriation to the agenda?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. All right, so now we're added to new business.
Line B.
Yes, line B, 9B. Okay, I have communications. We received communication which was shared for the request. These are, this one, what are these for budgetary for next year. It's coming fiscal year, one from Roxanne for the David M. Hunt Library on behalf of the library. And I think we're just receiving these communications. And then we had the one which I shared for the Torrington Area Health District. And their assessment, which didn't seem to change.
It changed per capita. Went up.
No, we got 4 new people in town evidently. Our population grew.
Population grew 4. Less than 78,082, okay. I also shared an email that, had been shared by the treasurer in regards to the federal grants and whether or not we were going to be subject to a federal audit. It would be required if the total federal funds spent was 750,000 or more for fiscal 26, I think is what she meant. Threshold has been increased starting in fiscal year 20, well, it must have been 25, and then increased in 26 to $1 million. So it just keeps us something on our radar.
Yeah.
And then I also shared the Board of Finance expenditures to date, which will just as part of the treasurer's reporting on a monthly basis. Is there any other written communications? Okay, oral communications. I have none. Secretary's report.
I move to approve the February 10th, 2025 regular meeting minutes.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. I have received the January treasurer's report. And
So moved.
I just need a motion to receive.
Yeah, I move that we receive the treasurer's report for January 31st, 2025.
Second,
I did have a question. I don't know, is Michelle there?
He is not.
Oh, okay. Maybe you guys know the answer then. I don't know. Why on the balance sheet for the town of Canaan, the regular, not the reserve accounts, I know it happens sometimes, but I was just wondering why the National Iron Bank checking is a negative $6,042. It's just timing, you think? Sometimes
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pose a couple questions because I have another question that I personally am and I'll send it to Michelle and then we'll have the responses back for our next meeting.
Okay.
Any other questions? I know she is still continuing to work on the balancing of the Board of Ed register. And that's the only other thing I know she's working on. Any further discussion? All in favor of receiving the treasurer's report?
I
Aye.
Opposed? And there's not reconciliations at this point, which will be on that table that, yeah. Tax collectors. You did receive that.
I'll make a motion to receive the tax collector's report. Hopefully amended to be February 28th, 2025.
Oh.
Um,
Great. Is there a second?
Second.
Any other questions, concerns, question? All those in favor of receiving the tax collector's report?
I
Aye.
Opposed? And the Board of Ed.
this, I just want to, I know it was labeled this way. I just want to make sure that's the case. It's through February 28th, the Board of Ed. It's not marked on the report. I know it was labeled that. Is that the case?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I wish they'd label it.
Yeah, I agree.
I asked and they, I don't know why they can't do that.
Change logo. Well, maybe we can request that for future.
I mean, I did, but maybe someone else should. So anyway, I move that we receive the Board of Education's report through February 28th, 2025.
Second.
Questions, concerns, discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Yes. Selectmen's report.
Well, can't be as exciting as the earlier Zoom link, I guess, but. Wow. Just quickly, Steve Grant, the Falls Village Grant group got together with us and with the selectmen, submitted the grant on February 20th, and the anticipated award announcement on April 3rd. That's anticipated, so we'll see what happens there.
I'm just bravoing.
Yes, a big bravo there.
Yeah, it's not an easy thing.
For Litchfield Hills, we have coming up planting a tree at Lee H. Kellogg School for Arbor Day on Friday, April 25th at 12:45. 107 Main Street property lease that is in the actual hands of the attorneys as we speak. As I spoke earlier, there was one or two wrinkles that the Ives, who will be leasing 107, wanted to get straightened out, and their attorney and our attorney are discussing those. Rec Commission, as I had promised the acting chair, I told her that we would certainly always advertise that they need more members for the Rec Commission. We're looking at 3 more members at least. That's 2 regular members and a alternate. we will be taking down this Friday the speed device on BB Hill. We have data, our DPW manager and myself have looked at that data. I have to show them some tomorrow morning. Wasn't there's a great deal of data, but not as many speeders as one might think. We have the Falls Village Historic District Committee being formed. Planning and zoning of the outdoor illumination. We have Carpenter Electric actually looking at these three places to see what lighting they can put there that would fit with the Dark Skies initiative or Dark Skies principles. And he's willing to meet with folks from planning and zoning to see what might work. The Litchfield County dispatch budget, we will be up this year. It is per capita, just like the Torrington Area Health District, but they also went up 3.5%. Okay, and I would only use this term for the Board of Finance. It's just a cost of doing business. So, Board of Selectmen workshop, we'll be having a workshop on Monday at 8:30, the 17th, in which we'll start to take all the proposed spending plans from all the departments and start to plug them in. New business, again, House Bill 7067, which has to do with motor vehicle tax, whether we would be using the state cap at 85% or the 90% that gave municipalities the ability to go up to 90. And I think, Ginger, that I gave you one of the graduated scales, correct? I can share that. We were able to vote on that as a Board of Selectmen and say that we went with the 90%. If we did not, it would have been in our grand list 1.2 or 1.4 million. I apologize, Kayla had told us, but roughly a loss of revenue of about $26,000 in taxes. You have the Fire Commission request, which we had suggested we give to you, recommend to you for funding. And we look at forming the Falls Village Grants Committee as a committee of the town, which would give it more transparency. And aside from having more transparency, allowing them to work closer with the town. And that's all I have for you.
When you form a committee, when you formally form a committee, do you articulate it through a written charge, like so they understand what their responsibilities are?
Yes, we will be putting those together. And again, as was pointed out, they're advisory at this point in time.
Right.
Does that include a budget line item?
Not right at this point in time, but the Historic Commission, we will be looking for a budget line in the new budget. More than likely for communication. And I think it'll be a very small amount. I'm willing to bet under $1,000.
And the Historic Commission will also have like a written charge?
Committee.
I mean, the committee, yeah.
Oh, and we reestablished, Amy, I should point out, the Affordable Housing Task Force. Affordable Housing Plan Task Force, which was dissolved. They have a written charge already, but we will renew that written charge.
Great.
Good. Questions?
I had one question. When you write the written charge for these three new committees or two new committees and reestablishing the task force, how are those committees and the task force populated? How are people solicited to serve on those?
We have gone out and we have solicited people from earlier meetings, if you recall, Roxanne, and they have contacted us. We've made, in the particular case of the Historic District Committee, Judy is acting as the Selectman liaison and ex officio member. So she will be working on the makeup of that particular committee. I'm working with the Affordable Housing Plan Task Force, and I'll be doing the same thing. And if we make the grant group a grant committee, it'll be Chris Kinsella who will be working to be the ex officio member and give them their charge and promulgate policy and so on and so forth to be advisory to the town.
Okay, and so members for all three of these are appointed by the selectmen?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And to be quite honest with you, Roxanne, as you well know, we are a very volunteer-oriented town here. We're lucky to have these people step forward out of their busy lives just to be parts of these committees. So we're glad to take them on, as you well know.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Move on to the old business. And at this point, I don't have any action for the Board of Finance policies or in the capital plan where that's still in discussion. So tabling those. Fiscal year 24 audit, we just need to formally receive that. Right? Approve it. Thank you.
So I'll make a motion to approve the final version of the fiscal year 2024 audit that was shared with us into the record.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions, discussion? All those in favor of approving the?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Yes. I don't have any suspense. For new business, I do have the 2025, we need to set up some budget meetings or get some idea on timeframes.
What we're aiming for is probably late March or early April in presenting to the Board of Finance.
Do you want to do like March 31st?
I know that the Board of Ed, I was reading, they're looking probably like the first week in April, I think they're thinking.
We don't want to do them the same day though, right?
No.
So so what about Monday, March 31st for the towns? It's an extra Monday, I think, so there are no meetings.
Nope, there is nothing. We should be able to go with something preliminary, like post spending plan, and if something happens in the meantime, we will let you know, but we'll use that as our target date.
All right.
And what time? 6?
6.
If there's no other meetings that night, I think 6 would be a good time. I'll look at my fellow selectmen here.
All right. That's fine. All right, so we will aim for 6 on the 31st. Tentative.
Unless, yeah.
We'll cement it as we get into the week of the 24th.
Absolutely. I think it gives us plenty of time.
All right, so we'll confirm.
So you and I will be in contact.
Confirm at the.
Is town hall available for that?
Nothing on town.
There's, as you pointed out, Amy, it's the extra Monday.
Right. Just checking, not assuming.
And then Board of Ed.
We could do April 7th.
Or to those who have counted for the town hall here. And then I can confirm it with Pat and
Did you just say April 7th for the Board of Ed?
I threw that out. I haven't heard anyone say yay or nay.
They meet the first Tuesday.
So that would be April 1st.
Do you think they prefer the Tuesday?
Let's aim for the 7th and I'll check with I'll run it by Board of Ed, check with Pat,
Okay,
time?
same time.
yep. Yeah. Okay, thanks.
Uh-huh. Is there any others that we need to set up right now? Probably not, just get through those two, all right?
Yeah.
Thank you. Nine B. Request from the fire commissions. The Board of Fire Commissioners requesting an additional 10,000 to be allocated from the current budget to cover the expense of the upcoming mandated Falls Village Volunteer Fire Department member annual physical exams. Budget line item 2001-410. As previously mentioned in discussion with the first selectman, Dave Barger, and Board of Finance member, Ginger Betty.
And
So
can-
Dave presented this. Yes.
Just to get it on the, up there, so moved to approve that.
Okay.
Second that.
And so my question is, just because, I'm not clear is, I know this comes up every year, and I know I thought they budget for that. So is this coming from a reserve account, or is this coming out of our the appropriation, is an appropriation from the fund?
Appropriation from the general fund, Amy.
Okay, so they don't budget for this every year?
Yes, this year it's in there.
It is.
So it's
budgeted.
coming out of the book.
Last year you had already completed your budget and your voting and setting everything.
Okay.
So we asked for it, well, this year,
It's in the budget.
it's in the budget.
25, 26.
It's in the 25-26 proposed spending plan.
Now,
But
Not in the 24. And that's what your request is.
Right.
Okay.
To the rec commission.
Right.
So spend 6,300.
Yeah, so we spent 63, so this would be
16,300.
16,300.
so we don't need to go to town meeting for it. It'll be out of your
It
appropriate.
would be out of the 20,000.
already.
Okay. Any other questions? We're starting, we're pulling ahead for the following.
Yeah, it's in there.
The only thing that I would bring up is that the cost of this is going up.
Yeah.
Astronomically. It's 424 per firefighter, and, member of the department. And again, it's a good problem to have, even though we're spending $10,000. It shows that we have gained a few more personnel within the fire service, so volunteer fire service.
And all the equipment now requires a CDL.
Right.
Attention to
Correct.
9 yards, so,
Yeah, CDOs.
along with the highway department.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
that's,
it's all-
I'm glad you pointed that out, that it is a good problem to have, that we have more people to take care of because we need them. Yeah,
Absolutely.
okay.
So currently, just so we're all on the same page, we currently had 5,000 for legal. Our
Six.
current. No, we had
Five.
5 for the legal. We had. Which is not reckoned on the general fund projection, and the Northwest Connecticut Transit
Is 1,000.
is 1,000.
Rec commission was 1,000.
And then the rec commission was 1,000. So that's 70, and then 300 for the bank fees, for the payroll. Correct.
So that's 7,300?
That is correct.
Okay,
So it would be up to 17,300.
So this would bring us to 17.
and we have March, April, May, June to get through, 4 more months. Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hi. Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Is there any other business? Public comment?
I have a question. For the Board of Finance. On the audit, I noticed two things. LoSiP changed the way they distribute funds to municipalities last year. So we actually got paid in the same fiscal year. So we got two payments from LoSiP last year, but only one shows up in the audit with revenue. The other question is, Board of Ed, the audit says that they didn't spend 61,000. But the Board of Ed says they kept balance. So that would be an asset for the town, to the Board of Ed,
Mhm.
but they said we underspent. So my question is, that's 60, 90. Where's the 80 to $90,000?
Board of Ed had to return some money to the town through,
The reserves.
The reserves.
Yep.
and then they had, and that's the reserve, but they also had a underspending of 31 for regional
One.
one.
But they put that in a bank account. So that's not,
No, that had to come back to us.
We don't
The
get
town.
it, we're credited,
Yeah, it's a credit.
yes.
And then there's but the other money had to go into the reserves.
Right.
The other money that they wanted to put into a bank account had to come into,
Correct. That's the accounting issue that
yeah.
That they pointed out.
they
Yeah.
pointed out, yes, I was gonna ask.
and the other, I'm not sure that we'll understand
Two
that,
issues.
because we didn't have any motions to move something to a reserve account from the general fund. So if the Board of Ed return it to the reserve account, it's not there.
We have not done that, no.
We did receive two checks from LoSiP, one in September and one in March, because they changed the way that they distribute funds. So every municipality got two checks for last fiscal year, and then they'll get one check, but
That's
Certainly.
interesting. And because we're on a cash basis, you can't defer that. So, I think that's good that you point that out, Denise, because I'm wondering if when we are budgeting for revenue for this upcoming year, maybe we need to keep that in mind that we're not going to get two payments. We'll get one. Yeah.
You saw one in the,
in the revenue for our LoSiP, it showed, I think, I don't know, 18,000 or 27.
27.
In the audit? No, but in the audit.
Oh, in the audit, no,
Well, we had a check for 18 and another check for 27.
so where's the 27? That's not in the audit.
Yeah.
They may have done an accounting, so we'll have to figure out what's going on.
And the same with the reserves thing, because if it's included in the general fund, then we're gonna be short 30, because we gotta move it out of the general fund and into the reserves.
We'll find out where they finished that one. Thank you.
Those are my questions, sorry.
Those are good questions, point taken, and I will follow up.
LoSiPs go into reserves?
No, the Board of Ed,
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
yeah,
It
Board
goes
of Ed.
right,
One of them was to go into a reserve, yes.
goes right to you.
Yeah, so Dave, did you had a figure this morning that some of the potential savings we would see from Aquarian? Did you want to share that with the Board of Finance?
we're not exactly sure what they are, so I don't want to be quoted on those numbers, but I know that the treasurer is looking at, I don't know if it was a very, very productive meeting here between Aquarian and the fire service. Chris Kinsella, our selectmen, actually entered that meeting. And they are looking at not charging anytime in the near future while they're making repairs to our hydrants, of charging the town or the fire commission any money. But there is a question about tasks from 2021, am I correct? In 2025, what they charge us, and they're looking at actually giving us that money back. But we don't know how much it is right now, whether they're gonna prorate it or whether they're just gonna say, hey, it was so much. every month, so we're waiting to hear back from them. So there may be money coming back from Aquarian.
Okay.
And I can't give you, I'm sorry, I can't give you an exact number. We kind of spitballed it and thought it might be around $10,000, but it might be prorated. Again, we haven't heard from the Aquarian management, only one of the folks who we've worked with. They're looking at that, so we'll know.
Hopefully you know for budget, for when you get to the budget and you'll have an idea by then.
Right.
Okay.
So,
Did they add hydrants?
yes,
They replaced two that were deficient,
right.
but the whole system is basically not to their own standard, or I guess, I don't know, what do you think, Tom? It's a standard that's.
Oh, yeah, Tom,
Yeah,
you were there at the meeting too. I apologize.
There's the expert over there, but yeah, not to the standard. There's types, the size differential, there's flow differential, sure differentials, but I think they consider us some of our lines to be on the smaller side, right, Tim? Yeah, and not to the
Majority
full
of
side. Yeah, so some of them are big, are the right size, but most of them I think are not. So
which means the overall flow from that hydrant is rather low. According to the NFPA standards, they
Right.
don't qualify as a
Yeah.
hydrant.
So,
right, can we get water out of them in an emergency? Of course,
Absolutely.
but not to you're not going to get a lot of pressure. So
so because they're deficient, the whole water system is deficient for fighting fires. I guess Aquarian has decided that they would credit us for billing what they've done since they've owned the system.
Okay.
And again, just spitballing it now, we think it's around 10,000, but don't quote us on that figure.
Oh, good meeting then.
Yeah, it was a great meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took a while. But Chris didn't bring it to the head.
Yes.
that's good.
Any other comment? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Hi.
Hi. Have a great night.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
I don't know yet.